Are you always coming up with ideas? Do you marvel at successful business owners? Do you hate being told what to do? Ever take things apart just to see how they work? Are you a dreamer? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, this podcast is for you. Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Pro Tapes and Specialties is the world leader in tape manufacturing and specialty conversion with over 40 years of experience. In addition to our pro brand of high-quality specialty adhesive tapes, we provide contract converting services that help improve your profitability, streamline your supply chain, and reduce inventory cost. We offer the most complete range of converting capabilities in the industry, such as cloth tape, double-coated tape, specialty tape, paper tape, masking tape, vinyl tape,
carton sealing tape, adhesive transfer tape, duct tape, foam tape, electrical tape, filament tape, foil tape, reflective tape.
And the tape just keeps on rolling. Visit us online today at www.protapes.com or call us at 800-345-0234. Pro Tapes, it's just how we roll.
Welcome to another fantastic episode of the Entrepreneur Enclave, Life's Coming Attraction. I am your host, Kevin Wortham. Today, I continue to be always excited, but today especially, I've got my dear friend Craig McGill on the other line. Craig, how are you, my friend?
Kevin Wortham, how are you, my friend? I'm doing great.
I'm doing good, Doctor. How are you? I see you're still getting yourself together, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You know.
Yeah, I was running it right to the wire with wrapping up for a shoot we have this Friday and getting all this gear together.
Yeah, no, I understand. But one of the things that I'm so excited about talking to you about is that I would say in the past 2 years, man, so many people are doing films or screenplays and doing films and small productions. And I keep thinking of you because I know that with your film background and your film ability, you are going to be swimming in the dollars because folks are going to make a way to utilize your services. So how did
Go
ahead.
Stop teasing. Stop teasing me.
Yeah, I'm helping you to speak it into existence, man. Right?
There you go.
Yes, sir. So
Absolutely.
So how did it all begin with your work in photography?
Well, I don't do photography at all.
Okay.
I'm solely film work, video work, which is almost synonymous these days, being that, you know, in the film world, we all film and video world, we use basically the same gear now.
Yes.
You know, few short years ago, it was film gear and video gear, but that seems to have blended, although the way it's done is quite different. But, I got my start, many moons ago, man. I've been doing this for like 34 years.
Okay.
And I've dabbled in both worlds of film and video, so I feel like I'm well versed in the two worlds, if you will.
Yes.
And I've worked on sets for a few films, and I do this as a living, shooting video.
Because you have your own studio now, right?
I do.
Okay.
I have a studio local to
Yes.
the Trenton area. I'm right in Hamilton.
Yes.
And have a nice little space over there. Just enough to do what I need to do, 1,600 square feet, but I utilize every corner, every inch, every wall.
And what's the name of your firm called, man?
Oh, my company is my production company is called Five Peaks Media.
Yes. Now
Five Peaks Media.
tell me the story behind that, man. I know there's a story behind that.
Well, indeed it is. So originally my company was called CIMA4 Media Works.
Yes.
CIMA4, CIMA and the number 4 Media Works. And that was way back in 2001. And it meant it was my family, Craig, Irene, Monica, Adam, and Asia. So
yes.
CIMA4, well, Adam and Asia, they shared an A because Asia came along a little later.
Okay.
But anyway, But the thing was, her name. I told my wife her name has to start with an A so she can fit within SEMA.
Yeah, because
anyway,
I've already got the company registered.
No doubt about it. You know this.
Yes. Sir.
So anyway, many years had passed, and I hooked up with this marketing company, and they were like, "So tell me the story behind SEMA 4." And I said, "Hey, it represents my family. I'm proud. My chest is out. My chest is out. Like, it represents my family."
Yes.
He said, "Oh, that's great. Your name doesn't work." Like record scratch.
Yeah,
he was like, when I Google your name, it comes up. It has some negative connotations, associated with it, with some Middle Eastern stuff. And that was like, we're still reeling from 9/11
yes.
type stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not really gonna work. You might want to consider changing your name.
Yes.
So I said to my wife, my guy told me that my name sucks basically, and I have to change it. So SEMA, spelled differently though, but sounds the same way. SEMA in Spanish, and my wife is from Honduras.
Yes.
So SEMA in Spanish means to be on top, or a mountain, or a peak.
Yes.
So she's like, what about? She was like, so what about that? I mean, what can you think of that means to be on top? And I said, I don't know. If it means mountain peak, what about peaks? Oh, and it clicked. It was a day later, literally. It was a day later. We said, peaks. We are now the 5 peaks. And
Love it.
I named the company 5 Peaks.
Love it. And each peak represents a family member.
Indeed. And it's funny, when I designed the business card, I designed it so that each of us, we are a peak in a mountain, in a range, and
yes.
they're strategically placed strategically placed from the largest to the smallest, but the way it's almost like a wolf pack. You have your leader, and then
yes.
you have, the ones in the middle, and then another strong one at the end, bringing up the rear.
Yes.
And so the smallest peak is literally my son, because my son is like 260, big Marine dude. So
yeah.
He's like he's a strong wolf at the end, bringing up the rear, making sure no one gets attacked from the back, from the rear.
I love it. I love it. Now, so
yeah.
So I want to jump forward, but not too far forward. I think that when you and I had connected, when we did our first podcast, you had mentioned that a few months after that, you were doing the vice president debates, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, how did that come about?
So I have a relationship with NBC in New York at 30 Rock, and I've been with the NBC family for many years. I was a freelancer. I would go and shoot and train camera operators, and shoot and train camera operators. So, and then it got to a point where they would send me on the road. And there was a select group, and I think that holds true for a lot of other companies, because even with CBS, because I freelanced with CBS as well, and they would send me on the road. So I think what happens is, directors and production folk, they get accustomed to people that they really like, and those are the people that go on the road all the time. It's like a covered, like a position that most people want to be able to go on the road. It's almost like, I've made it.
Yes,
now they want me to go on the road.
Yes.
So if you're going on the road, you had a little juice, you know what I mean?
I love it. I
So
love it, man.
yeah, so but I had kind of gotten away from that after a lot of years had gone by, Kevin, and I had kind of gotten away from the NBC family in terms of being there like that, because I traveled all the time with them. But I had gotten away. I was focused more on 5 Peaks Media, and that's actually what I was doing.
Yes.
And I got a call from them saying, "Hey, we'd love you to go to Utah to cover this VP debate." And I was like, I really did think about it. Before I would say, yeah, because you're there for 8-9 days,
yes,
and you coming home with like a couple months of mortgage already paid.
Yeah,
what I mean? So I said sure, but I like after I did the Olympics, I said I'd never go away for that long again, because it feels like you kind of lose momentum with the things you have going at home,
Gotcha.
So not personally wise, but business wise. So I went, and it was incredible, just being in that environment, totally opposite from the Northeast where I live, and there's hills and there's different colors, and
Yes.
it was just incredible. And actually getting to, meet, Kamala, and the fly incident on Pence's head. That was my camera. I'm shooting him with the fly on his head.
Yeah.
What the heck? Camera 5. You see the fly on his head? But actually, I was shooting. I didn't even see it until it was over. Everyone was making a big ruckus about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is that? It's like, had a fly on his head the entire time. I was like, wow, I'm shooting him, and I never saw a fly on his head. But that was, obviously, we know that was all over the news and all over memes and everything.
They used your footage to make him famous or infamous. Wow, that was crazy. Yeah.
The latter.
Yeah, you're right. Wow.
Absolutely.
So now before you in the middle of this conversation, you just mentioned the Olympics. How was that like, man? To shoot the Olympics?
Oh my God. Let me tell you. The Olympics, first let me tell you how it came about.
Yes.
So as I mentioned, when you're like part of the crew that they want to take on the road and everything, then you get you get first dibs at everything kind of.
Yes.
So what happened was, there was a director who really, really liked me. We would go on the road. I'm telling you, we would have such a great time. It felt like I was, Eddie Murphy. Like everything I said made him crack up. And I was thinking to myself, that wasn't that funny.
Yeah.
It wasn't that funny. He's on the floor rolling. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. But anyway, but he liked me, but he was ahead of everything. So I guess that was a good thing.
Keep him laughing.
So he called
laughing.
Man, please look at here.
Yeah.
So I remember I had just gotten off. I had just gotten to Penn Station, and I was walking to 30 Rock, and my phone rang, and I looked down. It was him, and he said, "Hey, I hope you don't mind, but you're going to be in London for 30 days." I'm like, okay. So I wound up going to London and covering those Olympics, and there was a big, huge, giant fruit at the end because we won an Emmy as a result of our coverage. So
wow.
it was all around good. So I think I stayed there for 26 days.
No.
And it got to meet everyone. I was with Doc Rivers. We were chatting it up. He was on my set. You know what I mean? It was great.
Now, when you go in a situation like that, are you using NBC's equipment or are you using your own equipment?
Yeah, so for like going on the road, these are major productions. I'm talking about in the multi 6-figure budgets, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And so they provide the set design, they provide all of the crew, they provide all of the equipment, they provide your flight there, they provide your rooms. They give you a per diem for food every day.
Yes.
And so basically they hired you for your skills.
Got you. And then everything you need or would like to use, they have it at their ready.
They have it on the ready right
Wow,
there. Yep. And then more than one.
Yes.
So if something goes down, you're ready for the next.
Wow. And so your crew, you in particular, got an Emmy from that, right?
Yeah, we as a team, we won an Emmy that year.
That's fantastic. Yep. So now how are you notified that you won an Emmy?
Well, we all got emails and said that, hey, congratulations, you guys are it was back in 2012, so you're the 2012 recipients of the Emmy for outstanding studio tech or something to that effect. Can't quite remember. I think it was studio tech, something like that.
Yes.
And then the next thing you know, I mean, you had an option. Do you want like a plaque or do you want the statue? I'm like, who the heck wants a statue? I mean, who the heck wants a plaque, man? Give me that doggone statue.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's the thing. This is a great story, I think. So the thing is, that was in 2012, and I may have even talked about this the last time I was on your show, but that was in 2012, and for the longest, all you had to do is just send in this like basically put your order in kind of thing.
Yes.
And I never did it year after year. My wife would say, get your Emmy. I'm like, it's like, I felt like, I don't even know. I felt like I was being over humble. My wife used to always tell me, "You're like the world's best kept secret. You don't let anyone know what you do.
Yes.
You know, you're super good at what you do, and I mean, this can turn into other opportunities for you, and you're sitting there, you're sitting on it. You know, we call them you Big Mo. That's short for you big moron. So you go like, you Big Mo, you know. So it wasn't until like very recent that I just went ahead and I was afraid that I had missed the boat, so I emailed the email that I had back in 2012, and he was like, yeah, they were like, yeah, by my name, yeah, Craig, you know, you can still order it, and I did, and when that sucker came, it felt like it was a 45-pound weight. You know, you go in the gym, you put a plate on there, it's 45 pounds.
Yeah.
It felt like it was 45 pounds. I'm like, wow, put that bad boy in my hand, and it was like the most beautiful thing. I was like, I can't believe I sat on this opportunity, this feeling of such accomplishment. That's how I saw it, at least.
Yeah.
You know, it all came to focus for me when I had that statue sitting in my hand.
Yes.
And it's like, wow, you know, we did this, you know. So
and then you add the Emmy award winning Emmy, that phrase to your bio, and now you can cha-ching, you can charge even more because now you're qualified. Well,
I tell you that, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yes, sir.
That was a key that opened a lot of doors. I mean, I'm just getting off of 5 days. I mean, like, the gaming industry is so enormous now. So we just did something for EA Sports.
Yes.
Call of Duty tournament in the Bronx, not Bronx, but we were in Brooklyn. It was a 5-day event. I just got off of that just this weekend.
Wow.
And, you know, Yep.
I love
and
it,
I'm
man.
telling you,
I love it.
Yeah, but my role was different. So now, you know, I got a call and say, hey, listen, I need like 9 camera operators.
Yes.
I need can you crew this for me?
Yes.
And I made the calls to the A-team.
Yeah.
I call them the A-team, like the guys I've worked with over the years. I know can crush it.
Yes.
And I call we showed up with theme music playing in the background when we walked in that joint.
That's what's up. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Wow. So now, but Craig, my next question is, because you are so humble, the Big Mo.
Right.
Where did this all begin? Because I know our paths crossed when we were in the gridiron in high school. So when you were in high school, were you thinking about filming beyond football, or what were you thinking at that time? Because you went to Ewing High.
I wasn't thinking that.
Okay, yes.
I went to Ewing High, and unfortunately, you went to Notre Dame. But we were talking about it. I remember. I think you wore 99.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But we'll talk. I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit. But no, I wasn't thinking about a video production. I was thinking about music.
Okay.
You know, I would sing. I could sing, and I could play a few instruments.
Yes.
And I figured, and I was a part of like a little group, and you know, I thought that I was going to be like Johnny Gill or something. I don't know. Okay. I don't even know Johnny Gill was out back then. But anyway, I thought I was going to be a crooner.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be a crooner. And so when I graduated, you know, my parents and I were talking about, so what are you going to do? But what I didn't realize, man, is like I would write poetry.
Yes.
I would write songs. I would draw freehand, like anything. I would just draw it. Yes. You know what I mean? And I was creative. I didn't realize that I was creative. I mean, I would think about, like, I had a little girlfriend that I may have been dating, and you know, I wanted to put my express my feelings on paper.
Yes.
And then I was like, wow, this is like I can write poetry. And also rap. I used to write raps. You know, back in the day, I used to battle rap.
Yes.
I will make battle rap rhymes, but I will never battle nobody. Yeah, but so what happened was I was good in English, you know, and I felt that I was always a great communicator.
Yes.
And so I saw, looking at the syllabus, I think is what it's called, I saw something that said mass communication. I'm like, that sounds like me. So what is mass communication?
Yes.
Mass communication covered radio, it covered print, it covered film, it covered television. And I'm like, man, that sounds interesting. Yes. And so that's what I wound up majoring in. I went to Norfolk State University.
Yes.
And my freshman year, I knew that was it. I knew it.
Wow.
I fell right into the right thing. And by my sophomore year, I was already a producer for a shopping channel. It was called Virginia Beach Shopping Channel. I was already a producer, and I'm like, this is the life.
Yes.
I'm doing this. I gravitated towards like operating camera.
Yes.
I gravitated to editing, and like my freshman and sophomore year, it's like I was doing all of these things, and it just when I got out of school, so I went through my junior. Obviously, my senior year came out, and I was ready for the world, and I was trained technically, but college you need hands on every day to really hone your skills. You know what I mean? So I wound up landing a job at New Jersey Network. Remember, used to be on Parkside Avenue in Ewing Township? Yeah, the old bowling alley. And that's New Jersey Network, and I did some years there, and I learned so much. And and then, not to make the story super long, but I wound up, eventually moving up every step, and then from there I went to Comcast. I learned how to produce commercials, and I learned how to do pretty much everything at Comcast. It's so hands-on. It was on Prospect Street in Trenton.
Yes.
And for many years, I wound up even working in not Moonachie, but I can't think of it where it was. Rutherford, up in Rutherford.
Yes.
At another Comcast. But now, from there to MSNBC to NBC, and then that's when the doors, just burst wide open, and I wound up doing all of them, man. CNN, ABC, HBO, ESPN. I was at every one of those spots, man, and just picking up nuggets each place I landed.
Yes.
It's like, and that actually helped create who I am today, and along with good people to help mentor me that I trusted, and they really guided me along the way.
Now stop for a second. How important was having a mentor during this whole process? How important was that?
I can't even express how important that is, because what happens is, I believe, is it's you go astray. You kind of like it's the easier way if you are teachable.
Yes.
If you're not teachable, then you're gonna wander in the wilderness for 40 years. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
But so I had my mentor. His name is Brian McClendon. I don't mind saying his name. He took me under his wings, and he said he had a lot of little catchphrases that he would say. And one time he said to me, he said, "Craig," and this right here it was so endearing to me, because he was so cool. He had a way with words. I even conduct myself like him when it comes to business, because he was like really good at being a manager. He's like, "If you never win the race,
yes,
you'll steal my horse." And when he said that was basically like, I can never say the wrong thing to him. You know what I mean? I can never do the wrong thing. So keep trying. He would say the worst decision you could ever make, Craig, is to not make a decision at all.
Yes.
Because making a decision means that you stand by what you just said, but you got to make sure that what you decide on is something that was thought through, and you weighed the pros and the cons.
Yes.
And if you make that decision, if it works out, that's great. If it doesn't, that's okay. Yeah. You weighed your options and you made that decision. You stick by it. So, having a mentor is I think the most. I think you need a mentor in every area of life, in any field you may work in. Someone that you can kind of you can lean on, and that they don't mind you leaning on, because they actually love the fact that someone is interested in learning what they have to give. And now that I'm at this level, I'm doing the same thing for other people. I have a mentorship academy coming up in August, so I'm training this stuff for people who are hungry for this,
Awesome. I love it, man. Yeah, you and I got to stay connected on that, because, I still work with young folks, and I would love to have some of the young folks meet you, to have them think about this being a possibility for them as well. I love it. I love it.
100%.
One of the things that I recall at our last taping, you talked about this daily routine, this daily affirmation, this daily process that you went through. Can you take me through that one more time?
Right. So I have a special number that I like.
Yes.
I tell you why I like it, because I keep seeing it over and over. 444.
Yes.
444. So what I wound up doing is waking up at 4:44 in the morning, and then am I talking about what you're asking?
Absolutely.
The ritual I would.
Absolutely.
So 4:44 in the morning, and I would go and my day would start off with prayer.
Yes.
And I would pray for, I never had a time. I would just pray till I felt like I was done.
Yes.
And I would get up and I would read in the Bible, and then I would have a book that I would read in, because I love books that are all about making you a better individual.
Yes.
So by the time it was 9 a.m., I had already been up for 4 hours, and almost 4 hours, and it felt like I was ahead of everything.
Yes.
So, and there's a book that I read. It's called the 5 a.m. Club, and everything that book was talking about. It's like, before I even read this book, I understand everything you're saying, because I feel exactly the same way. So I think that if I know some people, like even recently someone said, you're just you're a morning guy. I'm not a morning person. You're a morning person. But I told them, I said, I'm tired. I'm tired when I wake up. It's not like I just pop up and skipping through the house doing sidekicks and everything. But I'm tired. But I make myself, and I'm not going to say I do it every single day, because there are some days when I'm holding the house at 2 a.m. because I've been working or wherever, getting back from somewhere. Understood. And then I'll hang tight. But I think that's the calling for me, is to get up early and get some things done and out of the way. And then it feels like I'm more focused, because I don't when I wake up later than I want to, I feel like I'm playing catch up all day long.
Understood.
All day. So yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. Now you talked about your prayer life, or being faithful. How has that How has that helped you mold you in terms of your operational style and where you are as a businessman, an entrepreneur?
That's a great question. I'm gonna tell you the truth. It takes all the pressure off of me.
Got you.
Because I believe that as long as I trust in God,
yes,
and in all the things that I know that He is able to do, which is everything.
Yes.
That if I completely lean on Him,
yes,
and not what I see, man, or what I understand, or what it looks like, I just trust Him. Even when, in business or in life or whatever the case may be, when it looks bleak or it looks like it's at the end, I would always tell my wife, I would always tell her, remember, we always turn around and look behind us and see what we were so worried about in the beginning, that now it's behind us. That's how it is.
Yes.
And even today, I told someone about this job that's coming up on Friday downtown. I told him, I said, listen, don't stress about it, because you know what? It always works out.
Absolutely.
So that's how I feel about it. Like, even, let me tell you something, even when I would be at CBS or CNN or wherever I was working at the time, and I would take, like the younger guys who were working there and train them. And even now they tell me, how instrumental I was to them.
Yes.
And I was just doing what felt natural to me. And people would think that I was silly for you're training your replacement. I'm like, that's great.
Yeah.
If I'm training my replacement, that means I'm going somewhere else.
You're going to the next level. I mean? Absolutely. Yeah,
to the next level.
Yeah.
So having a foundation in prayer, and having a foundation in trusting in God, I guess that's really the bottom line. Just being able to know. And I tell God, I'm going to be real with you. I tell God, I don't know how I could do this without knowing that you're in my life.
Absolutely, yes.
So
amen.
That's how I feel.
Now,
yeah.
What has been your biggest challenge that you've had to overcome, Craig, thus far, man?
And more recently, or
just in general, being where you are, staying where you are. What has been some of the challenges that you had to overcome?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you the truth. Not that everything else I said was a lie, but I think that for a lot of years,
yes,
I've been outnumbered in the melanin area on production.
Understood. Yes.
And having to deal with the fact that I know there are other people who are brown like me,
yes,
who can do this.
Yes.
So I traveled all over the world, like I said to you. I mean, literally all over the world, and it'll be me,
yes,
and then everybody else. Okay. And I'm like, how, why?
Yes.
So I said that if I was ever in a position to give, people like me an opportunity. And when I say people like me, I mean my skill.
Yes.
People, who we think we have the same thing. We have things in common.
Yes.
And also that, you have melanin in your skin.
Yes.
Because for some reason it's just like, I'm gonna put a pin right there on this job that we just did in Brooklyn for EA Sports, Call of Duty.
Yes.
Me and another guy were standing there chatting, and one of the camera operators walked up to me. I didn't know some of the guys there. This is a guy who travels with the show, so he comes to me and asks me if I was a utility. Now listen, no disrespect to utilities, but utilities, they do the grunt work, which is fine. Yeah. I mean, God bless you. You're there. You're making money. You're doing your thing.
Yes.
But it's the grunt work. It's like the help, kind of, if you want to put it in those terms. And I'm like, why would he even assume that we were to help? No, I am the crewer of this whole gig. Like everybody who's here that's doing the camera besides you is here as a result of me bringing them on. Absolutely. So anyway, so the pin I put in, I'm going to take it out and finish. So again, I hired qualified individuals who I knew could do the job that may not have gotten it if it were up to someone else.
Understood.
You know what I mean?
Understood.
So I had 9 camera guys there, and 8 of us were brothers.
Yeah. Now, Craig,
I was
gonna say I have a solution for that. Right. The next time you have to go to a place like that, put your Emmy around your neck. And tell them.
Let me tell you something. Yeah. You think Flavor Flav look crazy with that clock around his neck? Yo, Emmy around my neck, I'll walk around with scoliosis or something. I don't know.
But they would never ask you, "Are you do utility?" They say, "Oh, that's the man."
Yeah. But I don't want it to sound like it's all about race. But I'm just saying that was a challenge for me. I would tell my wife all the time, am I the only one that knows how to do this? Yeah. Why am I the only one getting hired? I'm like the only one, but I get along with everybody. So it wasn't like it was uncomfortable for me with the crew that I was with. No. But it was like, why not? Why? What's up?
And I think that the 2 years that we've had the pandemic, right? Now that we're coming out of it, you see this whole opening and resurgence of just people of color, black and brown, just assuming their rightful positions. I see that. You see that now, right? I mean, man, you look at sports shows, you look at game shows now. At one time, the whole game show arena used to be white. Now in the evening, it's like every game show host is African American.
Yeah,
and you're like, wow,
Yeah,
and so
I think history being revealed, like all of history, not the history that we learned that we're fed.
Yes,
and I think we're learning the importance that we played in this country.
Absolutely.
I think people, I think that has a lot to do with it. You know what I mean? So
I think slowly but surely. I can't say it's them, but the powers that be, a greater power than perhaps all of us, is saying we need to have a reawakening as to how this world was set up and how things truly need to be done, with everybody having a hand on deck. So I just applaud.
I agree with that.
With the work that you continue to do, man. So
appreciate you, brother.
What motivation would you? I'll get to that question next, but. Any regrets that you've had along the way?
Yeah, none.
Oh, okay.
None. I
love it.
Yeah, I feel like when I jumped on this route,
yes,
that it just got the view got better and better as I moved on. You know what I mean? And I think what I love most about it is like over the years, God has been so gracious to me to allow me to learn and experience and do everything that I've done over these 34, 33 so plus years or whatever.
Yes.
And now I can train and teach other individuals who may not even be young, just people who just want to know.
Yes.
And I can graciously give them what God so graciously gave to me.
I love it, man. I love it. Now, so you shared with us your affirmation. What's your motivation for keeping you going?
My motivation, real talk, is my family.
Okay.
My family. Although my children are much older now,
Yes.
but my wife, she leads the pack in that area.
Yes.
I told her most recently that, the queen that she is in my life, and I was thinking about how, we see Cleopatra,
Yes.
how she's being carried everywhere.
Yeah,
I said, metaphorically, I want you carried everywhere.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I don't want you to waste your time walking. I want, so my goal is to do everything I can to make sure that her life and my kids' life is as easy as not easy, but, as carefree as it can possibly be.
Understood. And I love it, man. I love it. I love it. 5
Yeah.
years from now, where is Craig?
Mm-hmm.
Where is Five Peaks Media? 5 years from now.
Yeah. So Five Peaks Media is operating 10 times where it is right now, with a full staff.
Yes.
that is trained in the culture that is created right now.
Yes.
So right now I have, freelancers coming in to help. 5 years from now, even before 5 years from now, I'll have a complete staff that understands the culture of Five Peaks Media.
Yes.
And I can feel comfortable knowing that if there's someone coming in this, the studio is 1,600 square feet now,
Yes.
but it's not going to be 1,600 square feet in 5 years. But if someone comes into the studio or someone goes on the road on behalf of Five Peaks Media, that I know that the crew understands exactly how they conduct themselves.
Yes.
And how they, how they run business. And I can just pull back more into a training. I don't think I ever take my hands off of, producing and directing,
Yes.
but, I think that I can, release the reins, hand over the reins, so to speak, to these guys and girls, so they can get the feeling of being, behind the wheel,
Yes.
if you want to look at it like that. So that's in 5 years, it's going to be humming.
Now,
I'm looking at major success for Five Peaks within the next 5 years.
I've got a 5-year vision for you, where you could really
Talk to me.
come full circle, right? So at one point, NJN had offices or studio downtown Trenton, across from City Hall and Motor Vehicles.
I'm familiar. I worked there as a
You
freelancer.
know that space, right? That space is open, I think. What would it look like if you came back there to open up another studio there?
Well, I'll shoot my own documentary about my own self. But
Yeah.
that would be fantastic.
Yeah, let's work on that, man, because on this podcast, man, I've met quite a few folks that I was talking to someone, I forgot who I was talking to, and they had talked about something similar to you, but I mean, not so much to yours, but having a facility in downtown Trenton where they could produce, shows, talk shows, and things of that nature coming from Trenton, New Jersey. And I think with your background, man, I think, man, we can collab and I can put you in touch with some folks and make that happen, because that would be coming full circle, man. I love it. I think that locomotive wheel should start to move right now. We're going to listen.
Once
we get off this phone call, we're going to start to make that work, man, because I would love to see you in that space. And because you're more than qualified to be there.
Thank you.
You're more than qualified to be there. With the time that we have left, is there any shout outs that you would like to give to folks that might be listening?
Well, I want to give a shout out to my boy David Simons, who is an incredible, him and his team helping Five Peaks Media with marketing.
Yes.
He has a heart of gold.
Yes.
He really leans in and makes sure that I have everything I need. I want to give a big shout out to him and his crew. He's in Philly,
yes.
So I mean he'll still hear this.
Oh yeah.
And I want to give a shout out to my man Alvin Harvey, who sticks to me. He's one of my mentees.
Yes.
He's solid gold. He's learning the industry. I can send him out. He has the heart. He understands the culture of Five Peaks Media. He's articulate. He can deal with clients. He's not embarrassing. He's opposite of that. So big shout out to him. And want to say hey to my wife and my kids, Adam, Monica, and Asia.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
My wife Irene. She was like, "You said wife, you didn't say my name." I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
She's not like that at all.
But listen, Craig, you have been fantastic, man. I knew I had to get you on the show because I love your energy, and I love the fact that you're low key, but you're doing great work that folks don't know anything about. And we've got to put you on a pedestal so that folks know that entrepreneurship and just having a vision and a passion can be done. And so you are certainly sharing with us the process of how to get it done. So, brother, I thank you. Well,
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Well, we don't want to be the world's best kept secret anymore.
No.
So, you can check out fivepeaksmedia.com.
Yes.
FIVEPEAKS Media, MEDIA, fivepeaksmedia.com. Check us out. We're we're local. We're in Hamilton, right at Studio Park. And, we can get some great stuff done.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. And then the next time we're going to have to do another podcast. We're going to have to talk about the rivalry between Notre Dame and Ewing High School, right?
I'm all about that. I'm all about that. I wasn't the biggest back then, but
you had a heart of a lion, though. That's all right.
If you block for Pat Davis, you got to be something.
Yeah, so that's a shout out to Pat Davis. We're gonna get Pat on the next podcast there, so we can chop it up. Because I think at one time Pat was trying to do some voiceover. Man, you might want to reach back out to him again, man.
Yeah, Pat Davis laid down some voiceover for me already.
Okay.
And I'm down with him for sure.
Yeah, and maybe I can get Pat do some voiceover for me. And then I think then there's my dear friend Kyle Moore. He's doing his thing on the acting piece, and he's been doing some voiceover as well. So maybe
Kyle Moore. Yeah. Kyle Moore, if you listen, you owe me a visit. You're supposed to come out of the studio. We got to chop it up.
Yeah.
Stop playing.
Yeah. So here we go. So we can do a podcast, Kyle and I against you and Pat, right?
Yeah. We should. We should.
We'll leave the football alone because we all old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think we all got a little limp going on.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But Craig. But listen, man, I thank you, man, and you have just been a dream. So we're gonna stay connected. We're gonna do some collab.
Absolutely.
We're gonna do some collaborations. And we're gonna make sure everybody knows who you are, because I want you to get as much work as you possibly can. Now, before we leave, I want you to tell me about your mentoring academy, or the academy that you want to start. I want to give you a few minutes to talk about the academy.
Yeah, so we birthed this year.
Yes,
it's called Video Mentorship Academy,
yes.
And I felt that there's so many people who are very interested in video production, whether you're young or older.
Yes.
Who, some folks try to do it on their own and learn on their own, and they come out, kind of misguided. And,
yes.
If you're 2 degrees off one way or the other from Jersey to LA, you're going to land in Utah or something. I don't know. You ain't, you know what I mean? So, I'm teaching the fundamentals of video production.
Yes.
Even things from as simple as the language, we're talking about a bunch of things, the importance of, in importance of lighting and importance of proper framing, and all the things you think of that are fundamental. We even talk about branding. Yes. How you can make money doing this by doing this most simple things, just understanding the basics of it. So I created the Video Mentorship Academy. It's we're having our first one at August the 13th, right here, right in the studio.
Okay.
And so that's going to be the first of many. This is me starting to give back to those what I have to offer.
Awesome.
So well, maybe not give, but provide for those. But yeah, so that's what it is. It's brand new. I've been working on it for close to a year.
Okay.
Just making sure that when I present it, present it the right way. I have a special guest coming in to talk on a certain subject.
Yes.
So, that's Video Mentorship Academy, videomentorshipacademy.com.
And that starts August 13th.
August 13th, a 1-day intensive,
Yes.
1 day, 8 hours.
Yes.
1 day, 8 hours. When you leave there, you will have a full understanding of all these principles that I will talk about. Yep.
I
So
love it. So let's stay connected on that too, because I want to help you promote that as well, man.
thank you.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Craig, you have been fantastic, man. Let's talk in text and let's stay connected, brother.
I appreciate you. Consider it done.
All
Consider
right.
it done.
I'll talk to you soon, man.
Yeah. Be good, my brother.
All right. Peace now.
Peace.
That concludes another episode of The Entrepreneurial Enclave with Kevin Wortham, the podcast that focuses on building, maintaining, pivoting, planning, and investing in you, the entrepreneur. We hope you found this episode informative and enlightening. If you have any questions or comments about any of our episodes, please call 609-731-9311 or email kevin@minding-our-business.com. We look forward to joining us for our next one. Until next time.